Welcome to Crypto Riot, the show that takes the magic and mystery out of cryptocurrencies and amateur investing. I'm your host, David Hay, and in today's episode, I'll give you my top 5 picks for cryptocurrencies that cost under $1 and have huge growth potential. I'll go over a little bit about what each one does, I'll make some predictions for the future, and then I'd love to hear some feedback from you guys. So stay tuned, we'll be right back. Before we begin this video, I want to go over some basic investing advice. And one of the things that I think we need to focus on is talking about the significance of a cryptocurrency that's value is under $1. People seem to get very fixated on the amount of a cryptocurrency. So for example, with Bitcoin, they said, oh, 1 Bitcoin is worth more than the price of gold. And then a bunch of other people chime in and say, that's crazy, it can't possibly be worth that much. And I think that that demonstrates a fundamental lack of understanding about the way that cryptocurrencies work, because all cryptocurrencies are based on supply and demand. So if you see a price in the marketplace, it's what people are willing to pay. If I have a hotel room and I'm trying to lease it and I have the only hotel room in Las Vegas and it's fight night, then I can charge almost whatever I want for that room. It's going to get rented. If I fast forward a week and it's midweek Thursday and there's 100,000 other hotel rooms available, that same asset is worth a fraction of the amount. So the fact that a cryptocurrency is worth under $1 is really a psychological barrier that people have. And a lot of times people say, oh, I don't want to invest in a cryptocurrency because it's $2,700. And I think that that way of thinking is flawed, because if you're going to invest in a cryptocurrency, you should be looking at the technology, you should be looking at the industries that it's serving, and you should be looking at its growth potential. I think probably the most insignificant number is the number that the price that it actually is, because with Bitcoin, it's possible to buy fractions of a Bitcoin. So I would much rather own 0.001 Bitcoin than 1,000 altcoins that have no future and are just sort of a scam coin built on hype. So with that said, I am going to give you my top 5 recommendations of cryptocurrencies that do cost under $1. But I would encourage anybody that's interested in investing in the cryptocurrency space to do your research on all the coins, because owning a fraction of one really good coin, in my opinion, is much better than owning a ton of a crappy altcoin. My first choice for coins that cost less than $1 is IOTA. IOTA has the potential to change the way we do payments. And there's a huge difference in the IOTA technology to almost every other cryptocurrency out there. And that is that IOTA is promising absolutely free transactions. So if you're part of the network, if you want to send a payment, you need to use your device to confirm 2 payments. And in that way, just participating in the network is enough to get access to it. So while the transaction fees on different altcoins have been getting lower and lower and lower, that's great, and that's a huge improvement over Visa card, MasterCard. It's a massive improvement over the banks and their fee structure. It's still not free, and it's hard to beat free. So IOTA's created this concept, and it promises to really offer a completely free transaction system, and that's going to allow for all types of microtransactions. It's going to allow for all types of implementations that I don't think we've even thought of yet. It can be used to buy something that costs 1 cent. It has so much potential that I don't know where the ceiling is. If it doesn't get a critical mass and people aren't going to use it, then obviously there's an inherent risk. But if this becomes the main system, and if this becomes what's used by 6 billion people over the world, and if you're in China or Indonesia or any of these other countries and your minimum wage is $1 or 50 cents a day and a transaction fee is 0.05%, well, 0.0% starts looking really good. So if this technology is adopted by 6 billion people, if they start using this as a way to transfer wealth, then the sky's the limit for IOTA. My next choice is BitShares. BitShares is a real-time trading platform, and it has some really neat features to it. It's established, it's got a working product. It also has lots of applications that sit underneath BitShares. So while BitShares is like, for example, the company, if you want to think of it that way, BitUSD, BitGLD, which is BitGold, they're the services underneath it. So it offers a really good exchange platform. It's a great way to trade different cryptocurrencies, and it's also a way that you can convert, for example, Bitcoin into another cryptocurrency, for example, this BitUSD, and you can safely hold BitUSD, which will always be worth $1, give or take 1%, as opposed to being exposed to the volatility of the crypto markets. So because it's got these unique offerings and because it's already working in the market, I think that it represents excellent value, solid business model, and huge growth potential. This cryptocurrency that's currently trading at 13 cents is my second favorite crypto. My third favorite cryptocurrency that costs less than $1 is SIACOIN. SIACOIN allows users to rent out their unused hard drive space and make money. And one thing that makes this technology so appealing is that when I compared the price of using SIACOIN's storage solutions to Amazon AWS, it was about 15% of the price. And SIACOIN has a variable pricing model. So as more users add storage, the price will go down. As storage becomes scarce, the price for storage will go up. The nice part about this is because users are using their unused hard drive space, as long as they can cover the cost of electricity, well, then everything else is profit for them. So this technology has a huge potential to disrupt Amazon AWS, Dropbox, and Google Drive. And for that reason, and the fact that it's trading under 1 cent right now, I think it has an incredible growth potential, and it could really be disruptive in this cloud storage industry. My fourth favorite cryptocurrency is something very close to my heart. POTCOIN is a cryptocurrency for the legal marijuana industry. And I think that a lot of people don't fully appreciate its potential right now, especially in the United States. Because in the United States, there is a huge mess between the federal government and the state government. So I live in California and Nevada, and both states have legal recreational marijuana. But federally, it's illegal. So if I buy marijuana and I drive to Las Vegas, when I cross the border, if I get stopped by Border Patrol or if I have any interactions with, say, the FBI, well, I'm a felon. And that's a really serious crime. So even though it's completely legal, even though I can go to the store across the street and buy it, if I get stopped on any federal lands or by any federal group, it's illegal. And same goes for the dispensary owners. If they put that money in the bank and the feds look at it, or the feds want to see it, they can still be raided. And this has happened again and again and again in San Diego, where people set up dispensaries, they want to run legally, they do their best to comply with all the laws. The state says okay, the police say okay, the mayor says okay, and then there's a directive from the FBI and they come in and they raid these completely legitimate businesses. And so this means that everybody's nervous to put money in the bank. And if you go into a dispensary, you'll see more money in a dispensary, more cash in a dispensary than you will see at a bank. And I know this is a fact because less than 2 months ago, I had to buy a car. And because I was buying it off the newspaper, the seller wanted me to give them cash for it. So I went into the bank and it was about $21,000. And I was really surprised to hear that my local Wells Fargo didn't actually have $21,000 in their branch in cash, which is crazy because it must service thousands of people, and that to me seems like a relatively small amount of money. If I go to the dispensary that's down the street, I'm watching people pay $300 at a time for product, and I'm watching these transactions happen at once every 2 minutes, once every 3 minutes. So I'm calculating the cash flow, and I'm like, wow, this is a huge security concern, because now these legal marijuana dispensary owners are carrying around this huge amount of cash. They have all sorts of problems with employee theft, the possibility of being robbed, the possibility of being raided and lost. So POTCOIN, it takes that ability away. Once it's in the cryptocurrency space, nobody's going to seize your funds. It's impossible to sort of come in there and try to take that away from somebody. So I think the reason that POTCOIN isn't becoming bigger is because not everybody understands what it can do. And also, I think POTCOIN has this incredible ability to attract new users, because people that don't give a shit about cryptocurrencies, like my sister who works in human resources, for example, she does care about marijuana, and that's sort of her thing. So if she came into a dispensary and she saw that, for example, they were offering a discount, or it just sort of seemed cool, that would be the only possible concept I could see, or that would be the only possible situation where I could see my sister actually being like, hey, I want to get involved in this crypto space. So for that reason, I'm really passionate about this, and I think that POTCOIN has a huge potential to grow. It's also trading under 1 cent right now. They've been doing some gimmicky type marketing, including flying Dennis Rodman to North Korea and some other stuff. I don't think that's a big deal, but at the same time too, I'm not the average consumer for this cryptocurrency. If POTCOIN wants to become mainstream and used at dispensaries, it's got to figure out how to talk to the average person. And I think that it's doing that. So for that reason, it's my fourth favorite cryptocurrency that costs less than $1. Finally, the last cryptocurrency that I like that costs less than $1 is Ripple. Ripple's trading at 13 cents right now, and it promises to help banks and financial institutions with transactions. And if you've ever been to a bank and realized how much money it costs to do a wire fee, or how much they jack you when it comes to the transactions between foreign currencies, you'll realize that they suck and everything's slow and everything's really expensive. And Ripple can work with the banks or it can work without them, but it will allow for this fast real-time transactions, and it will be at a fraction of the cost. Originally, I didn't like this technology so much because it uses a centralized model and it sort of deviates away from the original blockchain concept. But now, as I'm understanding more and more about what the applications are and its potential, I'm really starting to warm up to it. And for that reason, it's my fifth favorite currency. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm always interested to find out what you think. So please comment below, let me know what the top 5 currencies you would invest in, and let's start an open discussion. Until next time, see you later. Psst, follow me. Every time somebody likes one of my videos, I water these plants. Every time somebody subscribes to my channel, I give them a treat. Every time somebody shares a video on Facebook. So if you like gardening, dogs, America, or cryptocurrencies, you should support this channel.